What's up, YouTube? How you doing? Cue music. All right. Welcome, one and all, to Pandemonium Live with your host, the enigmatic and all-knowing Wolf King. Anyway, we're going to get into some videos, some chosen spills, see what's up. Put the link out there, so if anyone want to come in, see if they could have some questions answered, they can. So that being said, let's get into it. Let's see what White Ring Watch got for us. Okay. What is this? Dave Daubenmire says that paying the government taxes is sin. Okay. That's an interesting thought. Let me just impose my view on this via screen share. There we go.
Are the ones who are permitting the government to act the way they act. And why are the churches doing that? Because the churches don't mind giving their money to the government. Now, here's what we better ask. We better ask the Lord, Lord, do you want us to? Do you want us to give our money to kill babies? Don't you want us to do, Lord? Advance homosexuality, perversion in our schools. Lord, you want me to take some of the money, that hard-earned money that you blessed me with, and you want me to give it? Do you need that process? Hey, fellas, I think this is serious stuff, man. I'll say this without question. Someone's going to argue with me. Government taxation. Despite what your pastor told you, the paying of government taxes, I believe, is sin. I'm sorry. I believe it's sin.
That's funny. Not paying your taxes is sinful. So not paying your taxes is the Christian way. That's interesting. I think Ken Hovind tried that shit. He tried not rendering Caesar unto Caesar as those biblical believing folk might hold, but I don't think that's gonna work. I don't really think that's very practical to implement. But then again, I haven't heard the full message he's trying to bring about. Let's see.
So my struggle is with that premeditated sin every day. I know it. I know for me to give one penny to Planned Parenthood is a sin. If I know what they're doing with it, it's a sin. For me to give for me to have to pay my property taxes, get your property tax, local property tax bill, and look at how much of your local property tax goes to fund your school, and ask yourself, why am I funding that bill? What am I going to say when I stand before the Lord? He said, Coach, you're giving that daggone school $200.
You're not going to say anything because you won't be conscious. You'll be dead. So, yeah, your hang-up's about the here and now. If you don't get them situated with, now, you won't have to worry about that when you're dead.
$100 a month, $300. I don't know what it is. They haven't valued this new place yet. We better hope for grace, don't you think, fellas? We better hope for grace, because I don't have much of a. If he puts me under that courtroom, puts me under oath, I'm not going to have much to say. Coach, why did you? Let me ask you, prosecuting attorney, Coach Dave, did you pay your taxes? Yes, sir, I did. Every time I was supposed to, every penny, every dot and tittle. Coach Dave, did you understand that money was being used to kill babies? I'm under oath. Yes, sir, I did know. Coach Dave, why did you continue to pay it? And my response will be,
This is a crazy person. Like, I'm not kidding. This is a face of a genuine lunatic. He's thinking out this imaginary courtroom incident, I guess, in which God is like the judge, and he's gonna be told that if he doesn't I legitimately don't get it. It's fucking gibberish. I'm just like I am just bizarre. Yeah, my mind is just blown by that fucking lunacy. So in this scenario, like God is the judge, and if he doesn't pay his taxes, he's in sin, and he's gonna get, I guess, go to hell. I mean, it's a weird way of saying you don't want to pay your taxes, but you know, I just to sum it up. I mean, if you don't want this to actually occur, there are practical ways, like maybe I don't know, giving women access to birth control. That might be more practical than complaining about your fucking magic man in the sky being pissed at you because you you tax funded something that was you felt antithetical to your worldview. I mean that's a lot better than fucking acting like a fucking batshit insane person. Oh, you don't agree with my crazy idea? Hmm. Like what? Anyway, moving on. Jim Baker. I seen this thing.
So is crazy. Oh, evil, it's insane. Evil. And what how they're trying to destroy the president and his family. Yeah. Is this God is speaking to me about it. What he is saying is he is going to send judgment, and he's going to judge some people that we can't judge. We're not to judge people, but he can judge. Yeah. And I believe there's going to be some things happening, and we're going to be shocked. There's coming a time when that's when the Bible says there will be no food to eat. And if you do get any food, you have to sign over to the Antichrist. That means you've sold your soul to the devil. Right. And you say, oh, it will never be that evil. What's going on right now? Half of
like day-to-day life. Yeah, if you want to eat, you better sign your life away to some fucking esoteric demon or some bullshit. I love this. End of the world conspiracy theory by my buckets. I love that snake oil. Just day-to-day shit. Anyway.
America hates Jesus Christ. Half of America wants to destroy the president because he's standing up to save babies, that he stands up for religious freedom and all. And they're making him out as the Antichrist, as an evil person. This is what's really, really sad. And it's time to be prepared because it's coming a time when it'll be too late to get ready. Absolutely. And that's going to be a hellish 42 months on planet Earth, as it says right here in the Bible. And he says that your silver and your gold is going to be worthless. That's right. So people have been storing away silver and gold for the last days. Yeah. The only thing that you are going to want when these times come is going to be food to eat. Yeah. And that's why we've spent our ministry for the last years putting together this food for survival.
How generous of him. I'm wondering if that's the case, how come he's not giving it away for free? Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, because doing things for free, that's not very economical. That's not very capitalist. Yeah, you need to sell that shit. I mean, and the weird thing is, these people have been talking about the last days for, I don't know, 2 millennia, ever since the religion was founded. And, the world just keeps on spinning. I mean, I'm not saying that everything's perfect and in great condition, but the idea that we're reaching this, apocalyptic state to where people are saying we're in the last days and they're justified in saying it, that's something different. That's a load of shit. Okay. I don't even know how you could support such a such a crazy notion. All right, yeah. All right. Okay. What should we look at? This should be fun.
If you've ever had this feeling,
You press them together. You are the master detective, maniac. What's that triangle mean, though? The triangle tells me everything I need to know. It is the ancient symbol of a sinister secret society bent on controlling the world without anyone ever knowing they even exist.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. As you can see from that clip, they're using cartoons more and more and more to indoctrinate children, as we know with witchcraft, right? We talk about Disney all the time, how they use cartoons to indoctrinate children with magic. Well, this is another tactic that they use. They use sarcasm. They use, deflection in a sense in these cartoons so that the youth out there who are very difficult to deal with, there are a lot of the people who comment in the comment section and will say, the Illuminati's not real. They're some of the dumbest people you'll ever meet. People who think like that, who actually think that.
I love that this grown ass man is getting butthurt over cartoons. That's just laughable. The fact that this is the big letdown of this day. Oh, cartoons are making fun of my beliefs. Yeah. Holy fuck, dude, grow up, get a life.
The stuff that they read about it. Oh, it disbanded. Oh, it was just a thing back then. Oh, pyramids, triangles. They think it's a big joke. It's amazing to me how dumbed down people are. But nonetheless, they use these cartoons. You could see in that clip that I played from this show, Teen Titans. And I want to thank the channel Gary828. He's a friend of mine. I'll leave his channel linked up below, who passed that along to me. And people have been mentioning to me about this show, Teen Titans, but I never had seen the clip. Because obviously, I don't follow some of these shows, a lot of them. I don't watch cartoons, obviously. I'm a grown man. But sadly.
Yeah, you just complain about them and how they're just corrupting our youth like a fucking nerd.
I think there are a lot of adults who...
No, dork. That would be a more correct term, because nerds actually know their shit. They actually have facts and figures ahead of them. That's what makes them, valuable people. Anyway.
Who watch this stuff. But that's okay to each their own. But shows like this deliberately will mock and ridicule the concept of conspiracy. So they're getting kids at a young age to think that all this kind of stuff is crazy and it's insane. And then, the Illuminati, they run Hollywood. You heard all this stuff that they said. They're all triggers. Okay, that's why it's there. That's the mind control. They're there as triggers. They implant that in kids' heads so that that's exactly how they think and they act. They don't realize that they're being programmed. We're up because the creators of Mr. Pickles sent me a copyright strike, and I had my channel first started. The video is no longer up. An example would be Mr. Pickles. I covered that when my channel first started. The video is no longer up because the creators of Mr. Pickles sent me a copyright strike, and I had to remove the video. Mr. Pickles indoctrinating children with Satanism. Now, people say, well, the show's not geared towards kids. It's geared towards adults. It's on adults.
I love Mr. Pickles. That was actually my icon for a decent amount of time. Lovely.
Swim, that's fine, but we know kids are going to tune into stuff like that, at least teens to me, and teens are still kids, where they're showing satanic rituals, a dog performing satanic rituals, right? They use cartoons. It's a much easier way for them to get their message across, because really they can show whatever they want and it will still not be, people will be desensitized to it, right? If they actually show these rituals that they show on Mr. Pickles with actors and stuff like that, people will be grossed out.
I think that was the first episode.
But when they do it in cartoon form, it's easier for them to program people. Another cartoon out there, we all know about Disney and stuff like that, but being pushed on YouTube trending right now, and it shouldn't surprise anyone, is a cartoon short, animated short called In a Heartbeat. One of the more disgusting things you'll ever see. Pushing homosexuality on the children. Yet they're allowed to get away with it. YouTube promotes it. I don't know how many times I need to say it. If it's getting promoted by YouTube, It's part of the agenda. Look at all the trending videos. You think a video of mine will ever be in there? Of course not.
No, because you're crazy and it's partially boring, unless you're like really losing your shit about something. Then you're kind of like inconsequential as a content maker. But yeah.
Why do you think they push Alex Jones in YouTube trending all the time? Because he's a part of the system. He's a part of the program. He's a part of COINTELPRO here. So here we see.
I love how he's hating on other like crazy conspirator makers. Oh, this guy's popular than me, man. He must be part of the Illuminati. He must be part of the agenda.
In a heartbeat, a young boy, they try to make it cute. Oh, he's in love with another boy, and his heart's beating out of his chest. I mean, it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And who is it geared towards? It's geared towards kids. And you can see how many views it has. It has 12 million views. 12 million views. I mean, does that not tell you that they want this out there, that they want people?
I mean, dude, just to be frank, like this is like that. You find me a cartoon that at this point in time doesn't have any reference to like gay or lesbian or transgender characters. It's all around in the cartoon world, all in anime. It's in everything. Okay, in video games, it's not some foreign concept. It's not some esoteric thing. It's not some conspiracy. It's everywhere because it's a common thing now, and it's no big deal. That's our societal view of it, like apparently on a collective level, and you know, you being triggered by that like means nothing ultimately. But he was gonna say something about Mr. Pickles, so I just want to point to that.
Works. Cartoons are the easiest form, I'd say, for them to use because they can get away with whatever they want in cartoons. They can show decapitations. It doesn't matter. We've seen all the predictive programming in cartoons like The Simpsons and Family Guy. Right? They do predictive programming through there because they can do it. Because people aren't going to be as sensitive to the topics or the subjects or the content because it's a cartoon. So more and more in today's world, this is what we're seeing. And we're seeing shows like Teen Titans that are just deliberately talking about it. But you see how they go, Illuminati! Ah! And they make a big joke out of it. That is because that's exactly how a lot of these young kids act when they come to these videos, when we're talking about some of their favorite celebrities who are a part of this, low-level musicians and things like that. They go, oh, the Illuminati, oh, the pyramid, the eye, must be Illuminati. They have all these plants on YouTube who put videos out discrediting this stuff, and they use...
Oh, my God. So the people who are criticizing you must be in on it, too. That holy fuck. This is conspiracy, no bounds. But yeah, just to conclude, yeah, of course. Anything that doesn't promote Christianity and is popular and has the attention of young people, of course, they're going to deem demonic and therefore bad, or relate to Illuminati and therefore bad. It's not a real substantive argument to make. You can do it with anything. But let's see. Since we're on this conspiratard route, let's go to another favorite. Crigelant Vision. Okay.
Trees. A disturbing event happened as I was doing some groceries. I ran into an old friend of mine.
Doing some groceries. Getting some groceries.
And his name is Matt. And the first thing that Matt told me is that his name is Lucifer now. And then he started to manically talk about the most insane stuff I've ever heard. I was gripped with an evil presence, and I immediately began to pray for him. It is really, really sad to see where Matt is gone in his life. I hadn't seen him in a couple years, and he's obviously dealing with schizophrenia and what we as Christians would interpret as demon possession. I didn't even recognize him at all, and that's whack. It's really sad. He was a good kid. When I knew him, he wasn't like this. So please.
I think, okay, so, all right, so he met an old friend, like, I guess at the grocery store, and he said his name was Lucifer and gave him a story about the moon and some conspiracy, and he started praying for him. Okay, well, first off, I doubt that this guy has some kind of mental illness. I don't think that that's related to that. I think, I mean, it could be possible. I don't know the full background of this individual, but it seems to me either the guy like believed this stuff, or he was genuine in his belief, or it could be possible on the other end of the spectrum that he was trolling you and just wanted to do that for shits and giggles, you know, because you're not exactly you're not exactly all bound together straight up yourself. You're kind of like manic in your emotional state.
Guys, can you pray for him and also pray for me? He said some things to me I can't even tell you because it was so fast and none of it made any sense. It was about the moon, September 23rd, him holding my heart, all sorts of weird demonic stuff that made no sense. And it's really, really just a disturbing experience that I just went through. Matt was someone that got into the New Age movement. And what I'm going to do here after this video is I'm going to show you a direct correlation. The people that open themselves up to the New Age movement, Reiki, meditation, Kundalini awakening, are experiencing hearing voices. There is none of that in Jesus Christ. Now, God can heal you, but I am no way telling you to get out.
So basically, okay. So if I just want to be clear. So anyone who has a personal experience, like spiritually speaking, right, and it's not Christian, it's hallucination, it must be crazy. That sounds a little bit like special pleading, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he has some criteria that help us out with that. Mario?
Of your medicine. If you're right now receiving medicine, you have to go see your doctor. And if you want to do that, you do that under supervision. I do not want you at all to interpret that that's what I'm saying. But I have seen improvements when people follow God and they get out of the New Age thought. The New Age confuses you. Some of these New Agers believe themselves to be reincarnated spirits from the Pleiades. And they start to think the most ridiculous nonsense that the devil confuses their minds with that you'll ever even imagine. And I know Matt was starting to get into that stuff. So he's literally lost it now. And it's really sad. It's disturbing. As I said, pray for me. And man, pray for him. Pray for him.
Yeah, I'm not going to pray for either you fucktards. Yeah, I'm going to say, like, use reason. That's better. Maybe some empiricism that might help. I mean, you're talking about spirits and friggin' and demons and the devil and all that stuff. I mean, like, none of that is actually factual. Sorry. You're talking bullshit. All right. What else do we have? What else do we got here? Let's see what a certain matinee has to say. One second. There we go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from God TV Radio. If you could be so kind as to please upvote my videos, share them, and perhaps even consider giving a tip, and also add to your albums and your bookmarks. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. God bless. Safe that they have a belief system. When a Christian says that they believe in God, it's because they believe that there's enough information or convincing arguments or evidence for a God to exist. Is it possible to have a belief system when the definition of atheism means lack of belief in deities? What does it mean when one says a lack of belief in something? If someone says, "Do you believe in Santa Claus, Brett?" which I've been asked by atheists many times, I would state, I do believe that there was a man by the name of Saint Nick, that the fiction, the story behind it, was created around. I do believe that there was a man that was very charitable that used to leave the toys on steps of children's doorsteps in order for them to be able to be happy.
I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised that Brett has resorted to these mundane topics such as the definition of atheism. It's really trivial, very tedious to worry about. But I mean, if I know he's just pretending, but the people who are obtuse about this, who act as obtuse as Brett does, atheism is typically, it means it comes from the Greek atheos, which means without a belief in theism. So that's pretty much simple. That being said, there are certain degrees of unbelief that they might take. That's why Richard Dawkins has the whole 1 to 6 thing. But yeah, there's no real issue about the definition of atheism or how you use the word atheism.
On Christmas, when people ask me, do you believe in the Easter Bunny? I do not believe that the Easter Bunny exists. However, I do believe, without actually seeing observation or evidence for this, that the universe has over 1 billion planets based upon the theories and hypothesis of both atheist and religious scientists who claim that the universe is 200 billion light years across. We've never seen billions of planets before, but it seems like it makes sense that if we can see some planets in our solar system and outside of it, then that must mean that this expanding universe that we claim exists has many, many more planets. So when someone asks me, do you believe that it's possible that a bunny rabbit could be walking around that has the ability to speak, has the ability to communicate, and also has the ability to hide eggs, is this even possible? I would have to say yes. And the reason why is because we live on a planet where people are convinced that they actually evolved from reptiles, monkeys, rats, and so on, according to science.
Hang on, I missed that. Let me just go back.
Communicate, and also has the ability to hide eggs. Is this even possible? I would have to say yes. And the reason why is because we live on a planet where people are convinced that they actually evolved from reptiles, monkeys, rats, and so on, according to science. So if a humanoid can evolve from a fish in the ocean that crawled up on land, and before that was nothing more than goo preparing for the zoo, then there would have to be something in my mind.
Okay, I don't know how he got from the Easter Bunny to somehow evolution being ridiculous and then jumping to abiogenesis. I personally, I don't even know like how the fuck this has to do with atheism. I mean, he's gone on a diatribe of different topics and issues, and now he's trying to. I mean, he's just talking gibberish. I don't really know how this effectively criticizes atheism or atheists or anything like that. He's just showing his ass basically with all this nonsense. He's never been a very a direct thinking kind of individual whenever it comes to these philosophical issues.
That says, Brett Keane, you must be open to the idea that maybe on some world in this expansive universe there might be a humanoid rabbit that is running around eating space carrots and doing exactly that, hiding eggs that he may have got from a space chicken. Because I don't know. In fact, every single time I open up my internet browser and open up to new species or creatures that have been found on the planet Earth, whether on land or through flight or whether in the ocean, I am literally amazed and shocked at new shit that is found every single day. There was a time in the 90s where I thought that our technology was so good that we'd already discovered everything that could possibly be on this planet.
If you legitimately thought that in the 1990s, Brett, you're a fucking retard. Like, regardless of your belief or non-belief, you're just a fucking retard. And your interpretation of science now at this point, like, or your supposed interpretation, whatever bullshit that suits you, because you tend to switch on and off between this little game you like to play on YouTube. It really just shows like how ignorant you are as a person. Like, you embody white trash. Like, this is I actually have to play there was this one clip where this fucker was saying Mao Zedong's name by he was saying Mao Zedong or something like that. I just think it's funny how this guy, like, he tries to give this like demeanor of being cultured when really he's just a white trash tard. Nothing new, none less. None more, none less.
But apparently I was wrong. Every single day a new species, a new creature is found, and another creature goes completely extinct. So when an atheist says he doesn't believe in God, although he says that he doesn't believe in God, there has to be reasons why it is that it's like this. He would have to believe that there's not enough evidence. If you have a person who is being convicted or accused for allegations or some kind of crime that is in court, the jury is going to have two things happening. There's going to have to be some that believe that the crime was committed and have their reasons for it, and there's going to be some people who may not be convinced that the person is good. They may believe, based upon circumstances and the environment and what they've been told, that the crime never happened or it did. But the point is, when it comes down to it, both people believe what they believe for whatever reason or whatever point or however they interpret the information that is before them. It is a belief. If a jury member says,
nah, I don't think so. I don't think so, because here's the thing, right? The issue would be, how do I say it? Like, within the courtroom analogy, let's just go with that. You got a plaintiff and a defendant, right? You got a positive claim that's made and someone who goes against that positive claim. All right. The person who is basically like skeptical is in this case, I believe the defendant, right? I mean, basically just going into it, the atheist isn't asserting like whether or not something is actually the case. They're just being skeptical of a claim. The atheist doesn't have to provide evidence to go against a claim, all right? To be skeptical of a claim, basically. The claim being that a God exists. That would be the belief. Now, the theist has this belief and holds it to be true. Now, if they're saying that there's some kind of evidence and that, you know, it justifies their belief, you know, I'm pretty sure the atheist is open to see it. But if it's just something insufficient or some kind of anecdote or something like that, I mean, I don't see how that's actually trusted. Basically, you know, you're dealing with non-belief when you're talking about atheism. So, I mean, I really don't know what this guy is even on about. He's just talking nonsense.
I lack a belief in this case. I lack believing in what this person claims that they've done or did not do. I am convinced, based upon this, why it is, then that's the case. But unfortunately, whenever it comes to a universe, not just a courtroom, when you say that you don't believe in God, this changes the entire ballgame. I'm talking about philosophy, life, existence, pain, suffering, joy. If a God exists, then that means that the universe had purpose and intention to it. You'd have to believe that if a God is interactive, that God actually has the intelligence, the knowledge, and the power to do the things that he does. If you're an atheist, though, then you have to believe that the universe is either accidental or something beyond a God or besides a God created it, or it randomly came into existence by luck. Due to
that would have been the same as the first one, but here's the thing: accident would assume intent. obviously. And the whole thing about meaning and purpose with the theism thing, it's basically a false dilemma. You could be an atheist and have your own sense of meaning and purpose. I mean, that's subjective. There's no objective meaning to life. Anyone who says it is a fucking retard, because it's just as long as you have a mind, you can produce meaning or a purpose. So, and going back to the thing that it has to come by, like the universe would have to come by some kind of luck or something. It's really like the universe is a byproduct of early, interactions of like physics and stuff like that. No one really knows what happened before t equals 0. But yeah, to try and make that up, it sounds like some kind of like God, the gaps hypothesis, what he's trying to set up here. In which case, I'm not even going to deal with. But I'm just gonna stop it right there. Enough of that fucking manatee. Him and the mac and cheese situation. I wonder if his dumbass is still doing Discord. Yeah, whatever. Moving on. I've been meaning to do a video on this guy. I'm not gonna look at all this stuff because it's not worth it. Okay. This guy. What is this? Responding to nasty comments on my channel. D-Roy Cruz. All right.
Well, hello, YouTube, atheists, Christians, and anyone else that would show an interest in my channel. This is D-Roy Cruz, your life applications officer, and in closing, this will be...
Shit, this is so fucking boring. I'm just gonna fast forward just so we get some substance.
I don't really understand, and I'm not going to pretend to understand. Like I said in the last video, where you atheists are coming from. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I don't have a problem with Christianity is because I believe it is the foundation. And when I say foundation, I don't mean the term. If you got a little bit of common sense, I don't mean the term itself, but I mean what it is supposed to be. What it is supposed to be. Original.
What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Okay. I'm not saying that all Christians are good Christians. I'm not saying that all Christians are good people. I'm not saying that I know all Christians. But my argument is that I know what a Christian is supposed to be. And if I didn't know what a Christian is supposed to be, I wouldn't be.
What the fuck? What? Wouldn't you want to be something? Would you want to be X if you were justified in being X? Like, what it is really irrelevant. Like, what? Oh my God, this guy, he don't look very bright.
Now, maybe as an atheist, you feel that you naturally woke up one day and realized that, hey, there is no God. Why am I worried about my life? Why am I worried about, what's right or wrong? Or why am I worried about this or that? Well, I don't worry about any of that either.
What the? Holy fuck. Oh my God, dude. Oh, jeez. Jeez. Okay, first off, you don't wake up one day and boom, there's your position. It's a long thought out process. You don't just wake up one day and say, oh, I don't believe in X. Therefore, why the hell should I care about all these other things that follow? What? That's not how one formulates their worldview, dude. Like, you don't. Like someone needs to brush up on psychology, because that's just not how one like formulates a mental model of how they see their world in their heads. That's just not how it works.
I do right because I find it attractive. I live for God because I find it attractive. I'm anti a lot of things, and I abstain from things because I understand why I would do such a thing. And I find it attractive to do so, to abstain. I remember people trying to tease me back in the day.
I wonder why. Shit.
It's not just the atheists. Atheists, it's not about you. It's about all of us. It's about all the people. And there's people, the world, you know, I could break down the world into two people.
Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt that. And let's see.
You know, but for your sake, I won't do that. But and for the sake of somebody that might be watching this channel that's not an atheist, I won't do that.
Oh shit, we got spared this false dichotomy. I'm actually getting pretty bored of this.
But I could easily break down everything into two groups of people. I remember going to work and people attacking me because I'm not a fornicator.
Oh my goodness. Like anyone
getting angry with me.
No one gives a shit about whether or not you get laid or not, you fool. That's a oh my god. Oh, for fuck's sake. Get this fucker off my channel, off my damn screen. God.
And then, you know, here come, he's scared of coochie. He's gay. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. And then when that didn't work, they started cursing the Bible and cursing, you know, religion and, you know, put me in a religion that I'm not in and all this stuff. Hold up. When I think back to that, I'm like, that sounds like atheists.
No, it sounds like you're retarded. Like that. It has nothing to do with whether or not you get enough sex. It has nothing to do with about what you believe. You're just retarded. You don't know how to think critically or reason accurately. Like I'm pretty sure if I know the full context of that discussion, I'm pretty sure it didn't go exactly the way you said. I'm pretty damn sure that that no one cares about whether or not you get laid or is mad about that. So just so you know. Like, good fucking God. Bitch, kill yourself. Like, I'm not kidding. That's like grade A stupid. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Huh. This is actually pretty interesting. Let's watch this. This is about Islam now.
All three of the harmful foods
I fucking hate ads. This is gonna be the last video.
About acceptance of homosexuality in the U.S. among some different groups. And we've talked quite a bit about attitudes from Muslims around the world towards homosexuality. And there's major cause for concern there, no doubt. But I want to talk about attitudes specifically within the United States. Pew Research has put out a new study. And the study finds that American Muslims are more accepting of homosexuality than white evangelical Christians in the United States. Since 2007, American Muslims have increased their acceptance of homosexuality from 27% to 52%. That is almost double. Meanwhile, white evangelical Christians have also increased acceptance of homosexuality, but way less, from 23% to only 34% in 2016, which is the most recent year we have data for. And you know that on this program, my desire is to follow the facts, right? If evidence points to female genital mutilation being a problem in Muslim communities around the world, I will tell you that. I have told you that, and I've gotten slammed by some people for that. if most terror around the world is perpetrated by Muslims, I will tell you that, and I've told you that, and many people don't like it. And along the same lines, if most terror in the United States is committed by white, non-Muslim men, as it is, I will tell you that. And many patriots haven't liked that. And a common argument against American Muslims is they don't assimilate. They don't mesh with our values. The truth, though, is that our country has become more and more accepting of homosexuality. The American Muslim community has doubled its acceptance of homosexuality, but it's the white evangelical Christians that are lagging behind in terms of accepting the direction the country is going as a whole. That's the...
That's actually pretty interesting. Let me take a look at this. Okay, independent, CLUK. It's actually really interesting. This actually, I wonder if Milo Yiannopoulos has heard this. Does it actually disprove his little anecdotal experience about being treated nicely by Christians over Muslims in the West? Geez, okay. That's being a bit interesting to see, you know, about that kind of factual video. I'll just play more of the video because that's breaking up.
Data. That's the data. And here's the really interesting part that I want to talk about. This study asserts that persecution of Muslims after 9/11 in the U.S. has shown them why it's wrong to marginalize other minorities like LGBTQ individuals. That sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. And I've been thinking, well, do we have examples either corroborating or departing from that? Think of the Jewish community. The Jewish community has been one of the most persecuted in all of history, right? Kicked out of dozens of countries over a period of thousands of years, endless persecution. One of the most progressive religious communities today. You put aside conservative Hasidic Jews, which are a tiny percentage of all Jews. And the Jewish community has worked for the rights of all populations. Look at the Anti-Defamation League as an institution in favor of LGBT rights, African American rights at any opportunity. Would evangelical Christians become more accepting of others and defenders of others' rights if they were persecuted? I don't know, because they believe they are persecuted, right? They've been talking about the war on Christmas for a very long time, and it's not leading them to self-reflection that makes them say, let's...
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good note to make. Yeah, if the Christians were actually persecuted in the West as it purport to be with these little small issues, that it's generally whenever they don't get their way politically speaking, it's not even tantamount to anything really with regard to persecution, like being discriminated against or disenfranchised or anything like that. But yeah, that actually is a decent point to make. And you know, with the Jewish claim as well, you know, when in terms of their history, they've been getting kicked out of multiple countries, being disenfranchised, not being able to interact with the population. You know, now, they, because people feared that, they'd get in control of everything. They'd start telling people how to live their lives, how to dress, or something of that nature. Now that they've advanced and stuff like that, it's weird. Now we have Muslims that are coming to this country and other countries, and people are trying to make similar arguments. But now we've seen that they're being more acceptful of LGBT people. That's actually a decent experiment. In fact, it's only a small percentage of Muslims globally that are like religious fundamentalists that seek to impose Sharia law on other people. But certain people, right wingers, not always, but sometimes, most usually right wingers, tend to avoid this bit of nuance and try to label all of them as such. Therefore, trying to get things like a country ban against them and all this stuff. I mean, Muslims are fine just as long as they're not, crazy, Taliban type people. sort of like Christian fundamentalists. But yeah, that is an interesting point to make, to assess that. But anyway, that's my video. That's my show. This has been Wolf King Pandemonium Live. If you like this video, you know what to do. Sapeade, Ave Se Tennis, and have a good evening. Ciao.